Hello, majors. So this is Unit 3, Day 2. Last class, we learned about the relationships formed by certain angles when we had parallel lines. Now we're gonna learn the opposite. If we have congruent alternating interior angles, we're gonna be able to prove that my lines are parallel. So we're gonna learn the opposite today. It says, let's review just a basic logic. If A and B are parallel, this little symbol means parallel, write it down if you don't know that. Then if A and B are parallel, right, these two are parallel, then my two angles that we have right here is angle 1 and angle 2. What do we know about them? They look like they're corresponding angles. They're both in the upper right-hand position, and we learned that either they are congruent or they are supplementary. In last class, if you remember, that means that angle 1 and 2 are going to be congruent. Corresponding angles are always congruent. These are called, let's write it down, corresponding angles. Okay, now the converse is also true. If angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent, then my lines are parallel. Then A is parallel to B. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. If two lines are cut by a transversal so that we don't have symbols here, so we're going to have to draw them in, are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So we learned that corresponding angles are congruent. We learned that alternating interior angles are congruent. So draw two parallel lines and then draw a transversal. And let's look at alternating interior angles. So alternating means they're on the opposite side of this transversal. Maybe one's on the left, one's on the right. And interior means they're both in between these green parallel lines. So I'm going to put this one on the left and this one on the right. And you can label it like angle 3 and angle 4 if you want. Doesn't matter. So make a picture. All right. So we learned corresponding, alternating interior, and alternating exterior. Angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. But let's look at alternating exterior angles. If we have two beautiful parallel lines, and then just show another arrow showing that they're parallel, and we have a transversal. Alternating means they're on the opposite side of my transversal, and exterior means they're on the outside of my green parallel lines. So maybe one is on the left and one is on the right, but they both have to be exterior. So make one 5 and one 6. Doesn't matter which one it is. So this one says supplementary. Supplementary angles we learned are on the same side. So same side interior and same side exterior. Doesn't matter which one we start with. Let's start with interior. Same side interior is also consecutive interior. Right underneath it, because we need to remember that for our test. I don't think I've ever seen the word same side on the SOL. Usually on the test and the SOL they use consecutive, but just in case they do, we wanted to show you both. But usually it is consecutive, not same side. So same side, we're on the same side, but they're both inside between my parallel lines. So we're gonna, something like this. You can say that one 5 and 6, so 7 and 8. Also, same side exterior or consecutive exterior. So if we have two parallel lines and this transversal, same side of the transversal, exterior means they're on the outside of the parallel lines. So something like this, or you could have done the other side. And I'm going to make this one 9 and this one 10. And they are also supplementary, which means they add up to equal 180. So 9, angle 9 plus angle 10 equals 180. Remember, we have angles from chapter 1, but they do not prove that my lines are parallel. So we're going to say, remember vertical angles, write it down. And a linear pair. Also supplementary, complementary angles does not necessarily prove that the lines are parallel. Does not prove lines are parallel, okay? Go ahead and flip your paper over. Let's see the back. This is a very short section. Let's look at this one. This is basically just a review of everything that we went over. It says, what value of x will make sure that these two lines are parallel? Well, you need to know you have two options. Are they equal? Are they congruent? Are we going to set them equal? Or are they supplementary? Do they add up to equal 180? Those are my two options for each angle, right? So let's look at these. They are alternating. One is on the left-hand side, and one of them is on the right-hand side of my transversal. So alternating, they're both in between my parallel lines. These are alternating, and they're both interior angles. And alternating interior angles are equal. You're going to say, well, 3x has to equal 2x plus 20. And we're going to solve for x because it says what value of x will make them parallel. You set them equal. Minus 2x on both sides. So we're going to be left with x equals 20. X has to be 20 in order for them to be parallel lines. And you prove each pair of lines is parallel. Well, they are equal. Are they supposed to be equal, or are they supposed to be supplementary? These are both in the lower left-hand corner, So these are corresponding. So you're supposed to say justify your answer, or looking for a yes or no, but justify your answer. So we're going to say yes, they are equal. And if you look at your notes, they're supposed to be equal. So we're going to say yes because they are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent. Perfect. So these are alternating. They're on the opposite sides of this transversal, and they're both exterior angles. They're on the outside of the parallel lines. So these are alternating exterior angles. Are they supposed to be equal? They look equal. Are they supposed to be equal? Yes, they are. So yes, because they are alternating exterior angles, and they are supposed to be congruent. Let's look at this one. We have 125 and 95. So this isn't even an option because either they have to be equal, which they're not, or they have to add up to be 180. And I guarantee you if you add them up, they're going to equal like 200. But on the SOL, they're probably going to give you two angles that add up to be 180, right? Are they supposed to add up to be 180? Let's look at this. They're alternating. They're on the same side. They're on the opposite side of the transversal. So they're alternating. And they're both inside these parallel lines. They're both in between the parallel lines. So alternating interior angles, and alternating interior angles are supposed to be congruent. They're supposed to be equal. So we're gonna say no because alternating interior angles are supposed to be congruent, right? Remember, we have to have one set of angles from this intersection and one set of angles from this intersection. So I know right away we're gonna say no. And we just looked at the front page because vertical angles, these are vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal, but vertical angles do not prove, do not prove Look on the front of this page, it tells you that. Do not prove parallel lines. That's a symbol for parallel and then lines. So you guys can try some of these out. Let's try 6. These are consecutive. They're on the same side of that parallel of that transversal, and they're both interior. They are on the inside of these parallel lines. Consecutive interior, check your notes. Or same side. Same side interior have to add up to be 180. They're supplementary. So 60 plus 120 have to equal 180. Does it equal 180? Question mark. Does it equal 180? Yeah, it does. Good. So we're going to say they are congruent, or they are parallel. Yes, they are parallel because same side interior are supplementary. Write it out. Be better than me. Okay. These two, there's really no name for it, but you can use vertical angles to figure this out. So you can either use vertical angles right here and make this 50, right? And then we have consecutive. They're on the same side of this transversal, and they're both interior. They are on the inside of these parallel lines, right? This new 50, this vertical angle 50, and this 130. Now, they have to add it to be 180. Consecutive interior, we said right here. Say yes, because same side, interior angles are supposed to be supplementary. And they are. And 50 plus 130 does indeed equal 180. Promise you it does. Now this is a linear pair. We don't have one from down here and one up from right here, right? Both of them are down here with these set of angles. So you're going to say no. This is a linear pair. Linear pair is not enough to prove parallel lines. Parallel and then lines. I scribbled that out. Sorry. I'm writing too fast and sloppy. Okay. So that is all of your notes for today. I want you to go through and fill in the rest. I want you to go slow and try them by yourself. Make sure you understand this, okay? And we'll go over this in class tomorrow. We actually have a project we're going to tour UCC. So make sure you guys understand this concept for class tomorrow. Have a great night.